What's up and welcome back to my channel. And if this is the first video you've ever clicked on, I'm Diana. I'm the creator of Money Boss Mama, where I teach women how to save money, pay off debt, shift their money mindsets, as well as stick to a budget. And recently I asked you guys to choose my next video, and you all chose how to overcome your fast food addiction. I kind of knew this one was going to win because it seems like every time you ask someone what their weakness is, it always revolves around food. Like, we are not able to stop spending money on food, and I feel like food is such a weakness. It's a really tough habit to break because we need food to survive. We need food literally every single day, multiple times a day. And when you are facing that spending trigger or that bad spending habit multiple times a day, most times it's really hard to overcome it, and that bad habit is going to win. So in this video, I am going to be sharing tips on how to overcome your fast food addiction. These tips really helped me to stop eating through my money. So if I am speaking your language, then continue watching. First things first, you need to actually add up how much you are spending on fast food a month. This is a good old-fashioned shame yourself into taking action tip, because I promise you, once you actually calculate how much you are spending on fast food a month, it is going to make you want to vomit. And when you know your number, you are no longer running or hiding from the situation. And I know a lot of you watching right now probably have a ballpark range of what you are spending each month, but you don't actually calculate it because you kind of just don't want to face the music. You don't want to face what it is that you are spending on fast food, but you know, you have this feeling that it's way more than what you would like to. So when you actually calculate the number, you're sitting and staring at the number, you stare it down, and it's going to make you so sick that you have no choice but to create a plan of action to overcome your fast food addiction. And I remember the first time I did this, I discovered that I was spending $400 a month on fast food. I was eating out breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and sometimes in between I would like go get ice cream or something like that. But what was so funny is that at this time I was a Sonic car hop, so my paychecks were only like $500 per paycheck. So basically I was eating through an entire paycheck. I was eating through one paycheck and then using the other one to pay bills. And it's like, girl, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. We're eating through our money, but had I not sat down and actually calculated my number, I wouldn't have known how bad the problem was, like how bad my spending issues were when it came to food, and I would not have known that I really needed to kick myself into high gear in order to overcome my fast food addiction, because I was literally giving up one paycheck to pay for it. Tip number 2 is to plan out your meals. When you don't know what it is that you're going to be eating, that leaves room for you to wind up in a drive-through because you're so hungry, you don't want to deal with it. You just want to get something to eat. You need that instant gratification. And when your stomach is singing melodies, it's really hard to think clearly. But when you know exactly what it is you're going to be cooking, or you have a general idea, then it helps to reduce those unplanned trips through the drive-through, because now you have the intention on eating that specific meal. So with me, I knew that if I had a few days worth of meals planned out, there was literally no excuse to not eat at home, because whenever you plan out your meals, you're going to put the ingredients that you need under it. So you know at home you have those ingredients to prepare that specific meal. And also, whenever you are planning out your meals, it helps you control the cost of your groceries, because you know the exact ingredients you're going to need for those meals. So if one of your meals requires a high dollar food item like a steak that's half your budget, then common sense is you're going to have to figure out a more frugal meal and kind of ditch that other plan that you had in order to stay within your budget. And I will say that I am not one of those, what do they call them? Meal preppers. I plan out my meals, but I don't prep my meals. So getting the Tupperware and, filling it with rice and a hard-boiled egg and chicken that does not look like it's seasoned. That is not me. So I had to get creative and when it came to meal planning, because I knew that I was not going to be prepping anything. I tried it and I failed. So what I do is I plan for 3 meals at a time, because I am not the most creative when it comes to cooking. I'm not a great cook, and I tend to stick to the same meals. So I'll plan out 3 meals, and then on my grocery list, I will have the ingredients that I'm needing to actually purchase from the store under each meal. So you're gonna have to plan for, you need breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks in between. And you don't want to start off by trying to buy groceries for an entire month or 2 weeks at a time, especially if you are new and you're used to eating out, because you're probably going to be throwing some food away. This was me in the beginning. I would have to go through my freezer because I tried to over plan, and I would be throwing out food. So anyway, basically you want to only plan for a few meals at a time. This way you can kind of go through the trial and error phase and gauge how many meals are comfortable for you and at what frequency. And I'm also going to show you guys what my grocery list looks like, because when I make my grocery list, I put my meals on the grocery list. So we're gonna take a little field trip to my kitchen so that I can better explain how I go about this. Let's go. All right, so as you can see here, I have my grocery list. So I have meal 1, meal 2, and meal 3. And I will say it's not as detailed as it was in the beginning, because I'm obviously used to doing it this way. But the top half of my grocery list will just be like the staples. What I need is not necessarily for a specific meal, but just juice, water, things like that. And breakfast will go up here as well. And then down here is where I get into my actual meal planning. And so I will plan to make 3 meals, and then the 4th meal is often like a skillet meal, like a skillet, what do they call it? Alfredo or something like that. So you can see here as an example for meal 1, I have listed under the meal the ingredients that I will need. So I knew that I needed to order or grab garlic bread, a lemon, Roma tomatoes, and then I'll put the quantity here out on the side. I needed pasta, Parmesan, heavy cream, and skinless chicken breast. So this is everything that I would need to pick up from the grocery store or order. And anything that the recipe requires that I already have, because I do like to take inventory before I actually go out and grocery shop, just to reduce any duplicates that I may wind up having in my pantry. I will leave it off here. So here, meal 2, same thing. I made vegetarian fajitas. And this is something that I will do from time to time just to make more room in my grocery budget. I will incorporate more meatless meals, and so that will keep my grocery budget right within budget or below budget. So I knew I needed tortillas, portobello mushrooms, bell peppers, and I had green, yellow, red, so I knew specifically what to get so I did not forget. Onion, and you can see the rest of the ingredients here that I would need. And meal number 3, I already had fried chicken in my freezer, so that's why I did not include it down here. And I was just gonna make fried chicken and potatoes, so I just picked up already made mashed potatoes just to make my life easier. So yeah, this is how I go about my meal planning for the week and how I actually write out my grocery list. And the reason why I have it here on my refrigerator is so I don't forget the meals that I have ingredients for, because sometimes I will misplace this and then I just find a random bell pepper and I'm like, why do I need this bell pepper? So this just makes it a lot easier for me to remember why I have certain things in the refrigerator, and to also remind me what I have available so that I can prepare dinner. The next tip is to schedule days to eat out. So if you are in distress right now, thinking that you have to go cold turkey and cut out all fast food runs, this is the tip for you, and it gives you the best of both worlds, because you are saving money because you're eating at home a lot more, but you also get your fast food fix each week. And this was something that I did and I still do because I knew that I did not want to give up fast food altogether because I hate cooking. I said it. I hate cooking. I am not a great cook, and sometimes I just don't want to sit at home and prepare food. So I had to come up with a way that would allow me to find, a healthy balance between eating at home and also getting my little dining out experience. And what's really cool about this tip is that it removes a lot of that guilt that you feel whenever you go out and you spend money on fast food and you knew you weren't supposed to buy food outside of the home, because you actually set a plan and you stuck with it. So it's more of a reward. It's more of a treat because you spent most of the week eating at home and you get your 1 to 2 days to dine out and you properly prepared for it, so you're not feeling guilty. And if you're not sure, which days to set or designate as your eating out days, if you're a Monday through Friday worker, you can select a day like Friday, and that can act as a kickoff to your weekend and kind of like a high five for you getting through the work week. And also with me, I set Saturday or Sunday as an eat out day as well, because especially if I'm out and about that day, I'm probably going to eat out those days anyway. So if I am proactively preparing to eat out those days, I don't feel guilty because I put those days in my budget. So if you are someone and you hate being inside the house during the weekend, try to go through the entire week eating at home, and then you can leave the weekends to eating out. And that way you have this balance where most of your week was spent eating food at home, and then the remainder of the week, those last couple of days, you get to reward yourself for sticking to the plan. The next tip is to use a zero-based budget. And to sum it up, a zero-based budget is when you get your spendable income down to $0. So for example, let's say that whenever you subtract your expenses from your income, what is going on? For example, let's say that after you subtract your expenses from your income, you have $300 remaining, $300 in spendable income. If you're using a zero-based budget, this means that you're going to go back to your budget, revisit each budget category, and then you're going to distribute that $300 to different expenses until you get it down to $0. And I find that this is really helpful because if you leave that $300 there to just kick it, it's just hanging out, you're probably going to eat through the majority of it. But when you go back and you use the zero-based budget method, you are going to make sure your money is working for you. We're not going to create a budget where our money is not helping us to elevate financially. So we're going to apply it to things that are actually moving the needle. You may apply the majority to savings, to investing, to debt, things like that that are actually helping you to get to a better place financially. And that's not to say that you can't, send an additional $50 to your eating out or your personal funds, but you're using the majority of that excess in a responsible way. And this way, whatever you have budgeted for eating out, once that money is gone, it's gone. No more fast food runs for you, and you are forced to now eat at home. And the next tip that I have is a simple one, but I promise you it is going to save you money, and that is to eat a snack at home before you leave the house. There is this saying that a hungry stomach has no ears, and I, for one, can vouch for that, because when your stomach is singing to you, when it's singing melodies, it's singing melodies from heaven. All the budget talk, all the talk about, sticking to the plan, all the money and all that other stuff, that is going out the window. The responsible you is going out the window, and you're going to go and pick up something to eat, because when you're hangry, you literally cannot concentrate. And I found that whenever I left the house to go and run errands, I was often at odds with myself. Like, the angel and devil on my shoulder were having this tug of war. The angel was like, girl, just finish up your errands and then go home and get something to eat. And the devil was like, sis, just get something to eat. we're hungry, we have an attitude, we're not gonna make it. And oftentimes the devil won because I'm hungry and I can't focus. And when you're hangry, literally nothing else matters but you getting food. So whatever you eat a snack before you leave out of the house, you're able to think more logically, and that's going to keep you from making an unexpected trip through the drive-thru. All right, guys, so this wraps up my tips on how to overcome your fast food addiction. If you were able to overcome yours, leave your tips down below in the comment section, and I will catch you all in the next one.